Okay, we're back to our interview. Sorry for the interruption. Let's move on to the next question. So, Omar, what did you do prior to starting the business?
I was a student for the most part, the normal thing. And then I was mostly dedicated to the student life, mostly.
That's good. You enjoy it?
Sometimes more than others. But I gotta say that once I was done, I discovered that I was present with studying. So just thought of mentioning that I finished, and I thought I was finished, but I then shortly after that I discovered that I was just starting.
Right. So what motivated you to start your own company, and when did you do it?
I think it's a family influence for the most part, given the fact that most of my family have been independent ever since I remember. That's been the case for both my parents and their immediate families. So it's sort of like friends in the family. Those were my role models ever since I remember. And then to me, being independent is just the right way to be. It's just the right thing to do. And then because of that, I pursue my own things. Or I started out pursuing my own things at a very early age.
So what kind of business are you engaged in?
Right now, I'm in the export trading and export management business, which is, in essence, it involves exports of heavy machinery for construction, and very particularly heavy machinery for pile driving and foundation of infrastructure projects, and hopefully larger projects. And we do that all over the world. So that is the main core of our business. Exports management and exports trading, which end up being exports, but they have quite a different set of responsibilities and functions depending on the area that you are looking into.
So coming from Costa Rica, what were the greatest cultural challenges in business and personal development for you?
Cultural challenges, I'd say the independent aspect of life in the U.S., as in kids having being more detached from their core families, and here more independent. In Costa Rica, more dependent. In the U.S., more independent. So even though I had at an early age I was influenced to pursue my own things, there was still this family relationship that is very important in the Latin American cultures. Very close together, very interdependent. Whereas here, people are more independent in many ways. And the other aspect was, you said business-wise?
Yes.
Business-wise, back then and today, more so than before, the economy or any industry is very, very competitive, highly competitive. There are far less protections as in Latin American countries, where there tend to be more bureaucratic and legalistic in nature. Over here is more supply and demand, and over there tends more to be in a more bureaucratic, more I'd say functional type of economy. Quite different in that aspect. And the other aspect was
just the business and personal challenges related to culture. You mentioned that family was one issue in the business.
And personally, very demanding when you come here and then try to establish a lifestyle or a career or some sort of life, and then being a newcomer is quite challenging, more so than being in your native country where there is a lot of comfort zone.
So how did you handle these issues?
by working my off, working extra long hours and simply most of the time doing more than everybody else. More hours, more effort.
Definitely that strategy worked out for you.
Well, it ain't over so until it's over, and I'm not sure that will ever be over. But I would say that the nature of your responsibilities and the scope of the things that you do change.
Prior to coming to the States, what was your impression of this country, and what is the impression of health once you got here?
Well, at a young age, I had a very positive impression of what the contributions of the American people and the U.S. not only to the domestic economy but to the world. And after I was able to get established here and develop my career, my business, my life, I'm more than ever before convinced that the contributions that this country has made to the world are great, and then is truly an example in many aspects of modern life as we know it, for other countries and other economies and other social systems.
When you were a newcomer, what are some of the things you learned along the way when you were just adjusting to living in a different country?
I'm not sure how to answer that question. Can you repeat the question?
Once you first came here, you probably had some kind of cultural shock for some time.